Kerry Boulton is Australia's most respected exit strategy advisor and CEO of the Exit Strategy Group. Welcome to this week's segment.
You know, leaving a business successfully is like building a great new home. One of the things you have to do is start with a really strong foundation, and that involves personal transition planning. After that, you're going to add the floors and the walls and the roof, which means looking after your financial plans, your succession plans, your business contingency plans. And then you're going to fill up your home. In other words, have a life full of choices and full of possibilities, which means figuring out what the right activities are, what the right occupation is for once you've finished in the business, and what the right location is, where you're going to be. And lastly, you're going to start your new life, which is, having a healthy, balanced, purposeful and significant life, because so much of you has been tied up in your business. Now, I want to go back to the beginning of that little summary, which is starting with the strong foundation and having a personal transition plan. What does that mean? I mean, that's great words, but what does it actually mean? Before you really even start to exit your business, what you really have to do is consider the plans that you need to make for both you as an individual, as the business owner, also the business, also your family, and who else is going to be affected, which of course is your employees. So business systems and family systems are quite different. I often joke about this with my husband and say, there's no way in the world he's ever going to retire, because you know what, darling, I love you, I married you for better or worse, but not for lunch. So, and that usually invokes a chuckle. I hope it did for you. But in all seriousness, it really is one of the most crucial things for you to consider, because when you leave a business, your life changes. And as I said before, the systems that operate in the family are different to the systems that actually operate in the business. So working through those is one of the delicate issues to be talked about. When I first retired, actually, I have retired once, and I found I needed to get back to work because I was so bored. But before I made the decision to actually retire, I sat down with the kids and my husband and said, you know what, I think I better spend some time with you too, especially with the children. What do you think about that? And, if they'd have said to me, well, no, Mum, we're quite used to having you out of the place and not being around. No, we've got our own lives to lead. We don't really want you here. Well, that would have been a completely different thought process for me to go through, and I would not have retired. In the event, in my case, I was thrilled. They said, yes, please, Mum, we'd love to have you around a little bit. So I made the decision to exit my business back then. That was actually the third business, and to spend a few years with them whilst they finished their school and off through university. So, from high-flying businesswoman to Mum's taxi service. So the difference then that I had to confront was, how was I actually dealing with that personally? Because I'd been used to being up every day, getting to work, getting to the office, dealing with wonderful clients and making things happen in that respect. And then to transition to the other side of the fence, and I think the same feelings will occur for whether you're a male or a female. You have to find something else to do. What's the new purpose in your life now that you've made those changes? So that was a really sort of an example of being able to think about and talk about what the system in the family then, and how that was affected by my being around, and as I jokingly said before about my husband being around. Every family is different, of course, and every business situation is different. So I'd urge you to give that some really serious thought and consideration, at the same time as we work towards making your business the best that it can be, to make it as attractive as it can be for a future potential buyer.
If you don't have a copy of Kerry's new book, The Uncensored Truth About Exit Strategies, please visit freeexitstrategybook.com.au.